reason why I'm deciding on getting into doomsday prepping, or just storing up a lot of supplies for in case of the worst case scenario, is you got some churches claiming we live in the end times. Then you got churches like my church who say we're not in the end times. They've been saying that for thousands of years. In the context of the Bible, most of that was already fulfilled. Matthew 24, fulfilled in 70 AD. 2 Timothy 3, read out of context in Revelation. Most of Revelation was fulfilled around a certain time period. So, without anyone understanding what it means to live in the end times, people being unsure from the end times, people saying that it's out of context, people saying that we're not in the end times has been a thing for 2,000 years. I look at the news, I see the world around me, and I see the world around me falling apart. The most important part to take away from all of this, whether we're in the end times or not, whether Jesus comes back in these last days or not, rather the times we're living in are signs of the end or not, doesn't really matter. I see the world around me. I see how wicked and evil it is, and I want to be prepared for the worst case scenario, and that's what matters. It's not a matter of we're in the end times or not. It's not a matter of Jesus is coming, let me stock up on food. If Jesus comes tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to use my food supplies because I'm going to be celebrating and having a party in heaven. That's number one. Number two, let's say he doesn't come back and I'm unprepared and we have a world economic collapse or EMP or some other disaster that leads the entire United States into a collapse that closes down grocery stores or stuff like that, then I want to at least be prepared enough to where I can say I can survive that. The reason why I am preparing and getting into doomsday prepping is because I see the world around me. I'm always watching the news. International news, world news, and United States news. And I see how wicked, how evil, and messed up this world really is. And I want to prepare for the worst case scenario in case the worst actually happens. It's not a matter of if we're in the end times. It's not a matter of if Jesus is coming back tomorrow. It's a matter of me being prepared and having the self-assurance that I am ready and able to take care of myself in case the worst happens. That is why I am preparing for the worst case scenario. Some people may scoff at this, laugh at this, but I have some common sense and I see the world for what it is, and I think what I'm doing is not only smart but genius, and I think a lot of people should do the same. If you know what I mean. On a day that it's not raining, I'll try to touch back up. But I want to film what I plan on getting with my supplies. Unfortunately, they play music inside the store on the intercom, so I'm worried I'll get a copyright claim. So I'll see what I can do for you guys. Maybe I can figure out a way to block out the music in the background without blocking out my ability to speak. We'll see what happens. The hard part for me is trying to figure out a good bug out location in case of an emergency. There's no point of hoarding a lot of food supplies and emergency supplies in case of a worst case scenario and dying in the process when that something actually happens and having my supplies stolen. Now, I live in a community that has a very large amount of people, so I gotta figure out a way to think of a good bug out location where I can pack and go in case of worst case scenario, but also be willing to safely pack my supplies. That's something I should probably put down on my to-do list as something to plan out. I need to figure out a good bug out location. I need to prep a bug out bag. I need to have a plan. I need to have the ability to have transportation with somebody I can trust in case the worst case scenario happens, to take me to that location. Or I need to man up and just get my driver license and do it myself, which I'm probably going to wind up have to do anyways. But the first step is figuring out a good bug out location, because if I don't have a good bug out location, then everything I'm doing is pointless. When shit hits the fan, neighborhoods like mine are the first neighborhoods to get rocked, and I don't want to be in that situation. But I'm thinking the Everglades. I am a redneck. I can last in the Everglades for a good year. Survive off the wild boars and deer and bears. I could last. I can't say that much about everyone else, but I could actually last out there. I'm 100% positive. Now, let's say I found a bug out location that's more realistic. I gotta figure that out.